This is Between Hooksets. I'm Jason Walter from In Through the Outdoors with my partner in slime, Kurt Underhill from the fishing crew.
That was a pretty light hook set there, Mr. October.
Yeah, you know what? I missed probably the biggest fish of the fall. And by the way, and I'm not doing this to brag, but this fall has been unbelievable.
Yeah, that's why you're Mr. October now.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm living up to, I told my brother, I said, I'm living up to the Chase and Walter thing finally here in this October. But I hooked up a big one. I don't know if it was a 30-inch walleye, a 40-inch northern, or a 50-inch muskie, but it was massive. And I didn't set the hook. I screwed it up. That's the one thing that I have learned here. These bigger walleye, you got to have a bigger hook set. They've got a lot of bone, and you got to set the hook. And I've just been doing the typical eater thing, where you and don't rip it out of their mouth. Keep the line tight and you're good to go. So whatever. I have had the most blessed October, and it's all due to your dad because he taught me how to do it. And I thank him. I thank him all the time. So I was going to change my name to Dave.
I think he's feeling bad for you. So he is giving you a few this fall.
I think so. He knows that I'm quite a doofus. Hey, check this out. Got this on the game cam, and I hate to have Bart sit there, but Bart, you look at this picture. Look at this goofball. I got that this morning. So I tried cleaning it up. He is one odd looking duck. So I'm going to cross my fingers and hope that I get a better picture in the next day or two. I made the mistake. I had that camera set on one shot instead of multiple shots. So I set it up on two. It's an LM2 from Spy Point. Trent Marsh. I do that for you, pal. And you only get two shots instead of three like you do on the Flex. But, what the heck? Speaking of Flex, let's bring this guy in and he can flex his muscles. He does all kinds of stuff. Adam Bartusek. Adam, how you doing?
What's going on, guys? I'm doing good. How are you?
We're all just kind of living the dream, Yeah.
Sitting in the Team Lodge ice shack. It's getting a little chilly, and I really wish this thing was on hard water right now.
Yeah,
but
well, at least
it'll be here soon enough.
We finally have a glimpse of winter coming, so that's good.
It went from July to December.
Yeah, it's been it's hot, and then it slowly trickles down into fall, and then it goes hot again, and it slowly trickles down, and it's just been chilling. And I heard murmurs a week or two ago that there might be snow, and I was like, I hope we get some snow or something to kind of kick things going. And yeah, I think the total increase for where I live kind of just outside of St. Cloud, and I'm supposed to get 3.5, 4 inches tonight now.
Ooh.
So.
No kidding. I know the Midwest weather guys were talking 1 to 2 of slushy stuff for the city. So I guess you're probably right on the edge of that thing, and it's supposed to be a little more.
Yeah, it's supposed to be heavy, wet, and I don't have my leaves picked up yet because they haven't all fallen. So
right.
I still have porch furniture outside. I got to go deal with a few things later tonight. But I've just been busy editing and working on stuff.
Yeah, you've got a lot of work to do. We didn't have much of an ice fishing season last year. I was dreaming on this portable ice house, and then I ended up showing up at your soiree that you had, and I won that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you won at the St. Jude fundraiser. I forgot.
Right.
You were driving home too, weren't you?
Well, no. So the crazy thing, I'll pop this up just to prove that I was there. But
yeah,
so it was really funny. My buddy Mike and I from Lakeville walked in, and we both eyed that thing right away and went right over and bought raffle tickets. And I told the gal, I said, okay, here's the deal. When I win this, my name is Chasin Walter. It's not Chasin. It's Chasin Walter, like chasing walleye. She's like, oh, okay. So you're going to win it? I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm winning that, and I'm taking it home. And then my buddy Mike gave her the money for tickets, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to win it too. So we were pretty confident. And then you called and said, hey, where you at? You won that ice house. We just got back to Lakeville. So we drove back down to Prior Lake, and we picked it up. But it was an absolute ton of fun. Oh, and speaking of that too, it's candy corn day today. You notice I'm really bad at putting stuff into a camera, and then you got the ring in the way. And then the Giesenbrau beer glass. How many of these candy corns, because it's candy corn day, how many do you think are in here? I counted them, by the way. How many are in here?
104.
How many?
104.
Okay. Adam?
I'd say 182.
Ooh, you're darn close. One less. There's now 169 in here. So
I was close.
Yeah,
I had to do that because Shields was doing it. Every time I flipped a page, there was a Shields doing so many candy corns in the deal. But these are pretty coveted glasses. I like drinking a little beer out of those fancy glasses. Are you going to have a little get together again this year?
Yeah, we'll have another one. I think the date tentatively right now for anyone, if they want to make it, is March 1st.
Oh, good.
It'll be this year. So, yeah, it'll be right after the season, actually.
So let's get into, before we start talking about your soiree, so everybody knows, explain the Crappie Chronicles and what that's all about.
Yeah, so the Crappie Chronicles, I guess it kind of just started as just a passion project film series that I did, would have been 4 or 5 years ago now. We're heading into season 5, so I guess 5 years ago now. But yeah, just chasing the biggest, just really big crappies within 60 miles of downtown Minneapolis. So yeah, we focused on, we want to get an 18 on camera. I mean, we kind of started and talked about how we want to get a really big one. Then we got, a bunch of really nice fish. And now it's kind of like, okay, I just want to get like a 18-incher, which would be, I mean, depending on what lake you're in, that'd be about a 4-pounder. So getting one of those on camera, because I mean, there are people, you see pictures of them in outdoor news on Facebook and stuff like that pop up. But I've never seen anyone get one on camera. So that was kind of the basis behind it all. And then as we began to do it, people wanted to see us go to new locations and show people how to catch fish in other places. So then we started exploring, going, we've gone to northern Minnesota, gone out to Otter Tail County a few times, been to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, went out to Maine. Had a bunch of other plans last year as well. But like we said, with kind of the weird ice season, we ended up just staying back home a bunch. And for some people, it was really, I guess, didn't get out much or anything. I ice fished a ton last year, which is actually what's crazy. I was out a lot. Like at one point, I was just going through the footage and looking. And at one point, I think it was 17 days in a row. Daylight to dark. And the bite was unreal, but it was just a really weird ice year. So
it was.
That's kind of how the Chronicles started. So we've just been chasing big crappies everywhere and kind of leaned into, like last year we ran into a really big bluegill bite up north, just kind of leaned into that. And that's kind of just what it's been and what we've been doing. So there's 4 of us. It's myself, Adam Griffith, Matt Waldron, and Ryan Pincala. And I think we all kind of have our own little specialties that we bring to the crew or do. And we just keep it rolling that way.
You talk about specialties. Ryan's specialty, I think, is cooking, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, right?
Ryan's a very gifted chef.
I really wanted him to see my specialty. So I completely forgot. I got to working on other stuff, and I can't believe that I blew it off because I went and bought the fixins. I was going to do my grilled peanut butter and bologna sandwich, and then the peanut butter and bologna finger sandwiches. And I was going to have it on a plate. I wanted Ryan to see the thing, and I'm excited. And I forgot. What a doofus. But now, in all seriousness, there is such a thing in my world as a fried peanut butter and fried bologna sandwich. And it's actually really good, by the way.
It's
not to the Dakota Angler show.
It's not good. Don't do it. It's not good. He brought him on the boat. I've heard about this for 2 years. How great this peanut butter and bologna sandwich is. And granted, it was on gluten-free bread. And we were fishing Lake Oahe, and there wasn't enough water in Lake Oahe to put moisture into that bread. But it's not good. It's not what he makes it out to be. So I would highly suggest trying it because you got to try something once. But Jason is all about as peanut butter and bologna sandwich, and I will say no. It's not on my list of things to do.
One day.
I'll try it. If you bring it to South Dakota for the Dakota Angler Show, I'll try it.
You know what? I'll do that. You're going to get a cold one because I won't be able to bring you a warm grilled one, but I will bring you a peanut butter and bologna sandwich at the Dakota Angler Ice Institute, which we're going to get Adam squared. So you and Adam Griffith are going to be at Sioux Falls at the Ice Institute. Tell us what you're going to be doing there.
Griff and I will be there the whole weekend. So we'll be chatting, answering questions for anyone, hanging out I believe in the clam booth or wherever else kind of we're needed the whole time. We'll be there. And I think we're doing a seminar. I think it's at 3 on Saturday.
Okay.
And it's one of the later ones on Saturday. And then I believe we're the only seminar on Sunday. So we're doing 2 seminars. We'll have 2 different ones. So we'll probably overlap on a few things, but we'll have 2 different seminars. And so if you want to come out and hear them both days, it should be a great time. I know we've been wanting to go out to this show for the last few years, but it just always lands on like some other stuff going on. And this year it kind of worked out perfect for me and Griff. I know Waldo and Pink I believe that's deer opener in Minnesota.
So I think usually lands on your Minnesota deer opener.
Yep. So I talked to them and I was like, you guys are good. We'll go out there and, represent and handle this one. So yeah, they'll be hanging out or they'll be up in a tree and Griff and I will be out in South Dakota.
And you'll be talking about the new plastics from Clam. That's been kind of the big thing here the last, week or so?
Yeah, and that's what's funny is I was just tidying up the next video for that should be out, I would assume tomorrow. But yeah, that Niku plastics, I'm very excited it's out now. That's been a project we've been working on for like upwards of almost 2 years now. So been working on it a lot. That's if people were watching the videos last year and they saw me blur some things out at times. It was because we had said we weren't going to use them in videos, and then Griff was using them, and I didn't realize it until I was editing, and I was like, okay, well, whatever. I just need to blur this out. So then we started doing that, and obviously I knew it was going to get attention, so then we kind of just kept using it, and we got to test it. We got to test them all a lot, to be honest, like a whole ice season. So
you get to work hand in hand with Thane then.
Yeah, well, we always work with Thane. But honestly, with Niku, it's more of it was more the R&D team. So we worked a lot with Nate Nipper and Mike Davis. If anybody knows them over at the Clam Pro Tackle team, they were in that first video that we put out on the Clam channel talking about it. But yeah, we worked, a lot with Nate Nipper. Like we have a group text with him. We talk all the time. And when that project was going on, we're chatting a ton just about different shapes, different plastics, different colors, you name it, just a bunch of different stuff.
So is the Ice Institute going to be the real first chance for people to get their hands on that new product and buy it? Or is it in stores like in the Eden Prairie Shields? I know it's not in the Brookings area. I've looked for it and haven't been to Sioux Falls, so I don't know if it's on the shelves yet or not. But
yeah, I've gotten some pictures and tagged in some Instagram stories of it at various stores. I think it really just depends who's put their ice gear out by now, which normally at this time of year, it's kind of most places are starting to get it out or have it out. But yeah, I know it's up at Shields, any Shields location you go to. Thorn Brothers has a bunch of it as well. There will be a bunch of it at the Dakota Angler Show. So I know, the Ice Institute will be the first place. Really, in my opinion, not like centrally Twin Cities-ish area where there'll be a bunch of it. So, definitely come check it out. It catches a bunch of different species. I will tell you that, especially the flutter fry. I think people are going to be pretty amazed at how well it catches walleyes and perch as well, but especially walleyes, because one thing there isn't really of a lot in ice fishing is walleye soft plastic. You got your buckshots and stuff like that, but we did use it for walleyes last winter, and it works surprisingly well. It works like pretty similar to any other glide bait, just different profile, different look, and different fall rate.
So it does glide a little different in the water then.
Yeah, it moves a lot. Like when you drop that thing down on a flasher or whatever you're using, like you will notice it exit your hole. Like it moves. But you can get it to stay in one spot if you want it to, and if you want to really get it to move, you can get it to move. And yeah, it's awesome. We kind of had a vision with that bait, and we were hoping it would turn out the way we wanted it, and it definitely did.
Did you get a gander of it on live sonar? Does it look pretty cool?
Yeah. I mean, we watched it all last year, and yeah, it, like I said, it just moves a lot. And what we've noticed with ice fishing over the years, especially with, how much more we use forward facing sonar, I think the biggest thing I've learned is how big of a deal fall rate is when targeting, whether it's bluegills, crappies, walleye, whatever it is. You've heard forever guys targeting walleyes and going up to a 1/4 ounce spoon or using a flutter spoon up on Winnipeg and stuff like that to move water differently. And once we got forward facing sonars, when we really realized it, like there's a huge drawing power depending on how baits fall. And I feel like a lot of the plastics that are on the market now fall very similarly, other than like a Mackie falls really slow if you've put that on a different jig head and messed with it. But that's really what we when we dove into a lot of these Niku shapes, we really wanted to get them all to fall at a different rate and a different way. And yeah, we definitely got that handled. So that's
it looks like serious crappie food, really.
Yeah.
They're real great. Buggy looking, spooky, scary, perfect in time for Halloween.
Yeah, definitely some spooky, scary colors. And yeah, like that's kind of the one thing. Like obviously we catch a lot of crappies, but they work for so many different species through the ice. And one thing I can tell people is like when you feel this plastic, it is much more durable than a lot of the stuff that is out on the market right now. So like a Z-Man type plastic, it's not Elastec, but you know how durable Elastec is, or even like the Crush City stuff, like it's very durable. It's kind of a different plastic, and that would be what Niku falls in line with compared to like a lot of the hand poured stuff that like you catch a bluegill and if it catches it just wrong, you're never going to get it to sit on your hook the same way again. Like we had days on the water where you can put one flutter fry on and just roll through the whole day, catch 20, 50 fish on it and not really have to worry about it too much. Obviously have to change it eventually, but
you do, but things are not cheap anymore. Heck, the candy corn, I used $1. I bought it, many times for $1. It's now $2.50 for a container of candy corn. And that's the cheap Dollar General kind. So run through while Kurt's figuring out whatever he's doing. Run through your rod and your reel, your line, and the terminal. What are you doing there? Are you tying it, or are you using the little quick clips? Anything of that nature?
For the Niku, like for the flutter fry, or
or just when you're chasing crappie. Period.
Yeah, I mean we don't use any quick snaps or anything like that. We just tie stuff right on direct. We're pretty standard with 3 to 4 pound mono or fluoro. It depends on the guy, to be honest. Like I don't know if there's really a big advantage between either one that much. Obviously, there's a lot more stretch in mono, but at 3 to 4 pound, me and Waldo use a lot of metered line. For me, it's just I can see it. Like if I'm tight lining or just watching my line a lot. There's some guys who use just straight clear. I use straight clear when I'm more of on like a Pink's Chronicle rod, where I'm power fishing. Like I'm not line watching then, I'm feeling my rod, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, just stick basics to that. But yeah, we have a whole rod series over at Thorne Brothers. We actually have 2 new rods added to the lineup this year. We haven't talked about that anywhere yet. So this is the first that's been announced. But yeah, there's two new rods in our rod series, the Pinnacle and then the Econical, as Lonnie wanted to name it. So the Pinnacle, it's a good pinhead rod, 27-inch quiver stick blank, I believe. with outside rec guys, wind grip handle, same type of style that our other rods are, just a bit of a different blank. We wanted something that just a little bit different of a pinhead rod than Waldo's noodle, because we've started to gravitate. I mean, we still use noodles a lot, but we've started to gravitate to more moderate blanks. So just testing that out. And then the conical is for the people who don't want to spend $140 on custom ice fishing rod. So that one, I think it's $99 retail. It's still a custom rod. It just doesn't have your outside Fuji guides or any like really like upgraded components, I would say, but it's still a great rod, very versatile, all around great rod.
So when you're fishing the 3 to 4 pound mono or floral, I know there are a lot of guys, and I used to be the same way, but I finally figured out this drag thing. It really is important. If you're going to fish 3, 4 pounds, 6 pound, whatever, I'm fishing 15 pound braid and a 12 pound floral this fall for fall eye. And by golly, that drag is pretty important. So is it pretty nitpicky with a 3 or 4 pound line?
Yeah, I mean, we use a lot of spooler reels. So whether it's the like Clam Elite spooler or a schoolie, like we use a schoolie a ton, as everybody sees. That's just kind of drag that's handled by your own hand for the most part on a schoolie. So you just, once you get your tension set, like you just get it to a point where if it's going to run, it just runs.
That's the little green plastic. It looks like you buy them at Walmart.
Yeah, no, Walmart. Like you literally do. They're actually really hard to find though. But yeah, all the tournament guys swoop them up all the time. But those things are the deal. If you haven't gotten one, everybody thinks they're like kind of a gimmick or whatever. Like I don't think there's a more fun way to catch fish through the ice than on a schoolie. Like it's not something you're going to use for your walleyes or stuff like that. But it's like for panfish wise, it's just a blast. And there's so many advantages to it in terms of minimizing line twists, your drag, just a line management. It's just easy to work because you can just work it with your fingers rather than having to put your hand on a reel to reel up line. Like you can just slowly work line up with your fingers. There's a ton of advantages to a schoolie, but yeah. And then with the Clam Elite spooler, there's just drag on that. So once you get it set, like it's a click drag. So once you get it set good, I mean, for the most part, you're good the whole time. Every once in a while when it gets iced up, like I'll have to pull some line out, but for the most part, you're good. And then spinning reels, drag, super important on 4 pound. We normally tend to run it a little light more than anything, just because, I mean, crappies have and this is crappie specific, but crappies have really delicate mouths. So you'd rather have it be light and just kind of bring them in slowly, because once you stick them, you're good for the most part, unless you horse them. Once you horse them is when you lose them.
Yeah, that's something that I had to learn with walleye too. You let them play, right? You play them out. I've noticed that, and it was this fall finally, because you're horsing them in and you're fighting at the net, and I finally just you give them a little line, let them swim, let them take some line. They come, and all of a sudden they just kind of come to the top and they slide right in the net. And obviously, you guys are ice fishing, so you're not really playing around in that regard. You're wanting to get them through the hole, right?
Yep. And I mean, just sometimes though, like when you hook really big ones, you just kind of sit there and wait. I think something that's important, I mean, you do it open water a lot more. It's kind of hard to imagine this analogy through the ice, but I've heard it in bass fishing a lot. Is the key to not losing fish is you always want to keep the hook point coming at you, if that makes sense. So if you can think about it that way. So even when a fish takes a run, like you want them to be sideways so that the hook's at you, not going out. Because once it's going out, you're losing leverage immediately. So that's kind of a big thing. So if you think about that through the ice, like you want to keep that hook point coming towards you. So I think like if you watch our videos, you'll see points in times where we're using a schoolie or an elite spooler, and you can see our arm kind of working compared to the drag. And that I feel like is absorbing that shock. You get what I mean? And
yeah.
It's not necessarily drag, but you're alleviating pressure that way.
Yeah, I fell in love with Crappie Chronicles way back. I think you and I met, and I reached out to you in 2021 when I started the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I started watching Crappie Chronicles, and it's, drone footage is drone footage, right? I mean, anybody could take drone footage over trees, but I love the way you build, whether it's a trailer or the show, the way you edit. It's truly amazing, and I get, if we have time, I should just stop real quick and do a welfare check and make sure that Kurt's okay, because I haven't heard a word out of him.
Over here.
And I'm like, well, maybe I'm just kind of
in.
dominating the conversation with Adam and leaving you out. Sorry, Kurt, I don't mean to leave you out.
Adam's controlling the show what we like, so it's all good.
We're rolling with the flow. So honestly, I could at this point, I'm going to share the screen here real quick, and let's just roll with this thing because we can.
I am old and wise, but swarmed by chaotic buzz. I am resigned to the fact that occupancy is my defining measure. Well, that is for most. A cast of, let's say, unique characters have begun to call me home. In a land of 10,000 lakes, I am the anomaly. No. I am in much larger shadows than the trees. My trails are hardened and well-traveled. But it is of no surprise to me that they have begun to uncover my riches. Watching them try to solve my puzzle amongst the labyrinth of frozen hellscapes, although upsetting to them, has become my muse. They say you are different and you are special. But why then would they choose to leave? I suppose it could be for the forests flushed with grain, or the burning sunsets that are ever serene, the untouched powder that wisps to the sky, or maybe it's the locations where the population is dry. Nevertheless, they left me for the great ice house city of the north and told no one. It's maddening to me because I hold all they desire. And I shall not reveal my secrets until they once again return home.
Love it. So I absolutely, I love it. I love the way you put stuff together. Of course, that's from season 4. You don't have any season 5 coming out, but you're working on that stuff. Are you getting some more trailers, teasers ready for season 5?
Yeah, I mean, and to be completely honest, we're not done with season 4 yet. We just stopped posting videos because nobody was watching ice fishing anymore in February because there was no ice. So yeah, I got a bunch of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff I've been hanging on to for 8 months, and it would have came out in February, but no one wanted to watch ice fishing anymore. So
everybody's looking at boat fishing stuff in February.
Yeah, it was like 82 degrees, and everyone's like, well, why would I watch ice fishing? I'm like, I don't blame you, dude. I'll just hold on to this until you guys want to. So, yeah, I mean, I still got a bunch of season 4. That's not done yet. I have a handful of videos.
Okay.
To be completely honest, I don't even know exactly how many it is. But, yeah, I got quite a bit. And, I mean, the plan is for it to start rolling out fairly soon.
So will season 5 be this year's ice season when it comes out? Do you stay in the year you're in, or are you a year behind?
Yeah, well, so right now we're behind, and I know some people have commented that like they don't like the saved content or whatever, holding on to it for long. And I mean, there's a couple factors there. Number one, last year's weird ice season. So like just in terms of what's best for the industry, in terms of our sponsors, when people want to watch it, the whole deal, it's just better for me to hold on to it for this year. But yeah, like heading into season 5, the plan is all the stuff. The plan as of now, I should say, like this exact moment, the plan is for season 5 to be everything like happening this year. So like similar to, I would say season 3, when we did like, we went to northern Minnesota, the UP, and Maine. It'll be similar to that. Like it'll be stuff that's happening. There might be a little delay where we're gone for like a week and then I start putting stuff out. But yeah, it'll be caught up. So basically my plan here in the next, basically until the St. Paul Ice Show, is to get everybody caught up on everything that's been happening. Cause, kind of what I feel like the Crappie Chronicles is I try to make it more of, I would say like a Netflix show or series. Like I feel like there's kind of there's a unfolding plot that's been happening for years and years and years. And now I got to get everybody caught up to speed because we're heading into like a new season. And yeah, so we'll get everybody caught up to speed. Everybody wants to binge watch stuff. And it just kind of works out really good too, because we have a bunch of new products like in these videos. And it's not even that we were planning on holding it. Like when we were filming everything last year, the plan was to have it all out. Sure. It's just that we lost
a month of ice season.
Yeah, like we started filming. Like I went through and did the dates recently. I think the deep freeze came on January 13th, and it was 5 days of sub-zero, and it built our whole ice layer for the season. That's all we had. It built 10 inches in 5 days, but that's all we had. So I think we started filming it thinking like, okay, we're going to be good. And I think at that point in time too, we were still planning on going on one of our other trips. But then like 5 days into filming it, we looked at the 10-day forecast and like the extended. And I told the guys, I'm like, we're going to lose our ice the first week of February. Like we can't go anywhere else. We just have to stay here. And at that point, like, we had caught the last video that's out now. We had then caught, a handful of crappies, almost 3 pounds. And we were like, okay, things are going really good. And I put that video, I was getting ready to put that video out. And I had seen like from Sobe and other YouTube creators that ice views were already dying. So I pulled the plug basically. Like I filmed the end of that video where I was in my garage saying like, hey, we're not going to post anything else. That segment at the end of that video is the reason that video posted 20 minutes late. It's because like at 5 o'clock that day, I was like, this is it. I'm not going to post anything else. And I went outside, filmed it, and I had to come back in, put it into my editing software, export it, upload it to YouTube. So like that was a last second decision basically there. So yeah, we got a bunch more stuff though. Like we went fishing a lot more.
But you got time though, right? Because it's November 1st on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You've got till, let's see, the St. Paul Ice Show is that the second weekend? It's later, right? It's like December.
It's the first full weekend of December, but it's so like December 6th through 8th this year.
Right. Yeah. So you've got an extra week, so to speak, there. So, how many do you think you have? 5, 6 episodes, or do you have more than that?
Maybe more.
No kidding.
Yeah, I got a bunch. Okay. Like I said, I got a lot. So I hope people are excited to watch stuff. We got a whole new season of Exposed Ice. We filmed already. So I got more of that coming. Like, I just got to sit at my computer, to be honest, because my hope is to have like,
it's time
to have anywhere between 5 to 8 or 9 videos out before St. Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just, I want to get caught up. Like, I want to get to St. Paul and be like, all right, we're caught up. We're good.
We want you to as well.
Yeah. Bring on the ice so we can start new filming.
Yeah. That's what I want too.
Well, you've got plenty going on too. Let's talk about Past the Barb because there's another project for you. You know,
Yeah.
that I think Sobe says, are you guys, I watch it and you're the most, is it the most downloaded or most watched podcast? I'm trying to remember what he says.
Well, we don't specify. We say we're the number one outdoor podcast in the world.
That's it.
So,
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
we are the number one outdoor podcast in the world. But yeah, we started that like 2 years ago, almost right now, to be honest. It was about this time of year. And me, Pinkala, Honor, and Stolsky started it. Just because I kind of always just wanted to do a podcast. And we did it on the base more of we have some technical talk on it, but not really. It's more of just goofing around, talking to friends, we have so many stories from behind the scenes of when we're filming stuff and what's going on and all that we just needed a place to like vent it out basically and talk about it. So yeah, started that. It's been going really, really good and it's fun. Got to get to talk to a bunch of people. We just had Buddy Jaron on yesterday and that posted today. And it's just cool talking to everybody, fun talking to Jaron. Like, it's just crazy. Like Jaron now he almost has 200,000 followers on Instagram. Like he's enormous. And he blew up through the TikTok age and everything. And what's crazy is like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, Sobe has a picture with him as a fan at one of Sobe's meetups at St. Paul. So like, it's just how quickly stuff can change and things can happen if people, want to get into it. So, yeah, it's been a great outlet. It's been a lot of fun. I would definitely say it's explicit. It is not for kids.
Right.
But if you're an adult and you like listening to content behind the scenes stuff, we talk about a lot of stuff.
So talk about your bass season. You really did this. Is this the first year you really put forth a serious effort to bass fish?
No, I mean, I've been fishing tournaments for, I don't know, a long time now, 7-10 years. I don't know, longer than that, on and off. But probably the last 3 or 4, it's been really serious. This year I fished the Opens again. And then I fished my first professional event, the Invitational down on Kentucky Lake. Fished the St. Jude, won the St. Jude, and Team Trail. Just a crazy amount of tournaments this year, which was super fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm happy to say that I got to do it and dive into it. And now it's just kind of, I don't know, with where the bass fishing world, tournament bass fishing world, I should say, is at right now. Like I like doing some of the stuff, but I really enjoy filming the Chronicles and filming videos and telling stories. So I might kind of start shifting more into doing that the next few years. And I'm still going to fish in tournaments around home and stuff, but just kind of shifting and just always trying new things. I get bored when I do the same stuff over and over and over again. So.
I get you. I do. Kurt, I know you want to ask the question about the Bassmaster Elite 2025. So go ahead.
Yeah, well, I was going to first off say you should come fish on Lake Hawaii for the South Dakota Governor's Bass Cup in June.
Yeah, when in June is it?
This year it'll be the 25 will be May 30th and June 1st this year.
I think I'll be at the Minnetonka Classic.
I was going to wonder
Griff.
I was wondering if that's going to fall on the Minnetonka deal because it usually does. But yeah, so did you see the news today on the Bassmaster Elites? No entry fees for 25 for Bassmaster Elite Series.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different opinions on it right now, and I kind of want to wait and see what Pangrac and some of the other, I would say, industry experts put out. There's two ways to look at it, basically. There's guys who are upset because their tournament earnings, like from payouts, are going to be lower. However, my thing was like, you don't have to pay $45,000 in entry fees, and you're going to be, recouping sponsor dollars. Like, it's more similar. Like, in my opinion, looking at it, I think it's more similar to a pro sport in the sense of, like, your professional athletes, we're not an NBA or football or anything like that. No. We never will be. Like, people should not think of that. We'll never even be at golf. So people shouldn't think of that. But if you think of on the golf realm, like the way a lot of guys paid their way was endorsements for a long time until the sport got to a level where there's enough coming in that, there's different stuff paying. So I think now the one scary part about it is, I mean, you guys know, and I think a lot of people know right now, the industry isn't great. Like, especially with the ice seasons being bad the last few years, like people need to go out and support their retailers, their mom and pop shops, stay at a resort for a weekend, stuff like that, like give back because they need it really bad. And with that whole Elite Series thing, now you're going to be relying on endorsements a little bit more. And I don't know how many dollars are exactly there. The good news is most people probably have their contract signed in already for the year. I know some people are worried about like, oh, their contracts, it has written in there, they get paid this because of their entry fees. And I mean, in my opinion, like if you have a sponsorship contract that has a line in it that says, because your entry fees are high, this is what you have to get paid. I don't think you've marketed yourself well enough or sold like your value well enough, because what you're paid should not change very much based on there being entry fees or not.
Yeah.
You should have a market value of what you can sell and promote and do for that company. So, I mean, I think it's a step in the right direction. I think right now, like there's a lot of hostility around the topic and guys are trying to figure things out. I'm from the outside looking in, so it's not me who's potentially earning less from, sponsor winnings or tournament winnings. But I think it's a step in the right direction eventually. Now, will it last? I don't think Bass would have made this decision if they didn't have a plan for several years.
Well,
they've been wrong long enough, maybe.
Yeah. Normally, if Bass does something, they have a plan for 2 to 4 years. So
they said in the deal that when they released the press release today that this is a sustainable plan, not to just be a 1 or 2 year deal. And I've read a lot of posts since I've seen it this afternoon, and guys, oh, if you end up in this place, you're not going to make that much money and blah, blah, blah. But, as dumb as it sounds, if you want free entries, eventually you got to have entries to make payout. And if you don't, you only got so much dollars you're playing with. And eventually the math doesn't math is what I tell people. Like if you don't want to pay in, you're going to have less payout. So it all comes down to, everybody wants a $100,000 tournament to win and pay back, 49 out of 50 places. But at some point, the money's not there. You can't just make the money show up. And so you either take a payout or put an entry fee in and get the payout, or you take what the sponsors can put up. And, they're what they say, $4.1 million in payouts this next year between Angler of the Year, the Elite Series, and the Classic.
Yeah.
And you're not paying anything to get there. You just saved yourself $45,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing I would say about it is it's now a performance-based sport.
Yeah.
Because if you finish in the top 20% and you are really good, you have a good year, you're going to make money.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have a year where you make, 30 to, I don't know, but $100,000. And that's what pro sports are. Like and that's where I feel like people got so used to getting paid for finishing 40th or, 50th in every tournament, they bring home $90,000. Like that, to me, I was always like, there's too many guys fishing for checks. Like there's too many guys doing it as a job, fishing for checks for it to be a professional sport. Now with where it is based on performance based, and I'm sure there's some people who aren't going to agree with me on this or what it is, but the elite people are going to do just fine, and they're actually going to do even better than before. Like it's going to end up working out really good, and it's a sport. Like it's not like these guys act like it's like, oh, a whole life plan and everything. Like, dude, there's guys who go play pro basketball or football or golf for 4 or 5 years because that's all they have for their prime. There's fishermen who've been in their prime for 30 years. Like that's not a sport. So that's what I think in terms of performance based. Like that is still there. The one thing I didn't really agree with, I don't think they need to have the payouts for like 27th through 40th. That are like
yeah, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, they should have just, in my opinion, they should have just thrown all that money into the regular payouts. You know, pay out the top 30 or the top 25 and call it good. And I mean, that's the thing then is, I know guys are like, well, I'm not going to make more. It's like, dude, you should, most of those guys, I have a general idea of what sponsors are like on that end and everything. They should be able to pay for all their travel, everything they need to do, plus have a monthly income that they can pay their bills and all that set aside. And you don't have to pay $45,000 of entry fees and then earn it back. Like that's the biggest thing. So I get where they're coming from. And like, you look at it right now, and if you finish the same way you did the year before, you might make a little less, but you have way less expenses. You get to keep your sponsor dollars at home. And the one thing they're eliminating is you can't just go fish for checks. Like you got to try to win.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's what I like about it. I think it'll be exciting to watch.
Well, like you said, it's a performance-based sport, and we put the performance into it. Yes. You know, we're not paying you just to show up.
Yeah.
You know,
well, they had to pay down to 75th before, because otherwise guys are going to go bankrupt half the way through the year because they had to pay $45,000 entry fees.
Yeah.
Right. So you had to give them something so that they could keep going. But if you eliminate that, you know, guys cannot cash a check for a whole year. And like, realistically, if you know how to run a business and sponsors and like, yeah, maybe you have a side hustle and stuff, like you're not going to be put at risk of like literally being bankrupt for like 4 or 5 years.
True. Yeah.
There's a lot less major risk now when you make it to the top level. Like there were people in the opens qualifying and having to pay $45,000 in 2 weeks. Like that's crazy that was just an industry standard. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hubbub right now. I mean, that's my opinion at this moment. Will my opinion change in 12 hours when I maybe listen to a different podcast or someone who's in the position explaining it more?
Right.
Maybe, but the thing I like is getting rid of entry fees and making it a performance-based sport where the top end guys are going to do really good. Like you look at any other sport, the top 10% of golfers in the world make a ton of money. The other guys paying their bill, you know, they're still millionaires now, but in retrospect, they're paying their bills and moving on. They're not making crazy lucrative stuff.
Yeah, so, it'd be good for the fans, I would guess. For those of us who enjoy it, you know, we're going to go down to the Classic in Texas, enjoy that. You know, I don't think it's going to change. Maybe the field will be a little bit shorter. It won't be.
I don't think the Classic this next year hasn't changed for Texas.
No.
Texas.
Right. No. Right. That'll stay the same.
Yeah.
Right. I know Randy Block got his 2 cents in. I don't know if Upshaw's done a video. When we're done tonight, I'm going to go see if Upshaw's got a comment or two on it. Maybe Pangrak does ish. Todd,
I mean, I texted Matt to try to see what he thought this morning. He texted me at 3:00 and he's like, I just got done filming a TV show. I didn't even know this was coming out. So he had no idea. So I think he's still talking to people and probably trying to formulate what he thinks as well. But
makes sense. Yeah. You know, things are changing. They're trying to make it better. So at this point, I guess we'll sit and watch. You know, the walleye world's got its issues. You know, I'm not quite sure what they're sweeping under the carpet there, but things are coming out there. So it's gonna be kind of interesting to see what happens in 2025, the economy and everything going on. You guys have it going on. You know, you'll be at the Ice Institute in Sioux Falls coming up next weekend. So that's pretty doggone exciting. You and Adam Griffith are going to be there. And then, you know, hopefully we've got, I don't know that we're going to have ice by then, but we're going to be knee deep into talking about ice and ice fishing and the whole hard water thing, looking for your Crappie Chronicles to come out. So there's a lot of stuff going on, you know. I would say anybody has an opportunity to slide on over to Sioux Falls next weekend. I think it's going to be a big weekend for a lot of people. Brett McComas is going to be there. Target Walleye going to be there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people. Bro's going to be there. So it's going to be a
great opportunity. Holst is going to be there. I haven't talked to James, or I have talked to him once or twice, but I haven't spoken to him much. And like, that was the first show I ever watched, like growing up, IDO, like that's the blog I was on and everything. So like, I would love to chat with James Holst for a while. I've looked up to that guy for years, watching fishing shows. So I want to see him out there too.
Yeah, no doubt.
You're not going just to work, you're going as a fan as well.
Yeah, no, I saw you there. I'm like, I got to talk to James.
Right. Yeah, you really have to. I think they're going to have a big show. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. They're going to make some great deals. They'll have great deals on stuff. I know the boys from the Midwest Angler Podcast have their custom rod contest. That's always fun. Craig Euler and the outfit benefit from that. And the kids benefit from that, so it's pretty cool. So it's going to be fun to get knee deep into it. Did you go to the North Metro show? Did you get a little time up there?
No, I was actually gone filming. I was up at Nitty's for the MTT.
Oh, you were okay.
Yeah, I was up there shooting some like video and photos and stuff for the guys at Relevant. But Dakota Angler is going to be sweet. I have heard it's one of the best shows and weekends of the year, so I'm excited to get out there and see everybody. I remember this is going to be the first sports show we're ever at where I have frozen kitchen cookbooks.
Oh,
so
cool.
I will have 150 of them out there. So if people haven't been able to get one off of Amazon or whatever it is, like we're going to have a bunch of them out there. They're awesome Christmas gifts. They're great. Ryan put a bunch of work into it and people use them every year. So, we'll have a bunch of them out there and excited to get those out to people in South Dakota.
Fantastic. I'm excited for you to try the peanut butter and bologna sandwich. Kurt, I'm not letting go of that.
I guess I am too.
I just wish I could grill one up for you.
Whole episode of the Between Hooksets with people he cons into eating this nasty thing and see what everybody's opinion is. And remind you, he lost all his taste buds from COVID, so he still can't taste anything. He can taste peanut butter. That's what he can taste.
It's getting better. Speaking of opinions, Halloween candy. Where do you sit with the Kit Kat?
I love Kit Kat.
Top of your list?
Kit Kats
the good old-fashioned Hershey's?
Hershey's is fun.
No? Top of my list.
I'm going to complain, but I'm not going to grab it. The Reese's is like the OG candy.
Yeah, that one. That's peanut butter cocaine right there. Just no doubt. And of course, then there's some kids are going to get this when they knock at my door. I'm like, yeah, I got candy for you. Here's some eye candy. So
you'll have dads coming back dressed up as kids to get eye candy.
Yeah, that's hello, little Bo Peep. Who are you trying to be? Oh crap! Today was a bad day. The door fell off my pickup, and I'm just pissed.
See, Mark even agrees. Peanut butter and bologna ? Throw up face.
Mark, the next time when I'm up at Devil's Lake, Mark got me my tickets for the Devil's Lake ice fishing tournament. So when I'm up there, I'm gonna make peanut butter and bologna sandwiches. He cooks with real food, but I like cooking with the peanut butter and bologna sandwich. When I was a kid, Dad's always like, why do you do that? I'm like, well, because it grows hair on my head. Anyway, Bart, Adam, it's been great to have you on the show. Thank you very much. Excited to see you in person at the Dakota Angler Ice Institute next weekend in Sioux Falls.
Yeah, I'm pumped about it. Hopefully there will be an episode of the Crappie Chronicles out before then. I'm not promising anything, but I'm looking for it. I'm going to try. I really am going to try. I want to get one out before then. I don't know if it'll happen because this first episode that comes out is going to be really long. Like it's going to be like an hour and a half probably.
So the best part is they can go back and watch all the rest. So if they can catch up or go, if they've never seen it, go watch past episodes of Crappie Chronicles. So
yeah, no, they can definitely catch up because last year was so jumbled. Like I don't even remember what happened last year. Like I had to go rewatch because I'm like, I don't even know what we did. We were so all over the place all the time. But yeah, I'm hoping to have one out. I know the first one's going to be a movie. It's going to be very long. And that's the reason I'm worried about actually getting it out in that time frame. Is just it takes so long to edit those long ones. But it'll be really good.
You had the girls on, right? Amy, Devin, and
yeah, I had they were on last year.
Okay.
One of the videos we put out early in November. Yeah, that was super fun day fishing. I think we caught more white bass than we did crappies that day, and we caught a lot of crappies.
Nice.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well, they want to check you out. Crappie Chronicles on YouTube. And where else can they find information about the Crappie Chronicles?
I honestly, I think if you Google Crappie Chronicles at this point in time, it pops up pretty quickly.
Yeah, or if you go to YouTube, just search Bart and it'll pop up. So they're not actually looking for a Crappie Chronicles YouTube channel. It's actually your channel. It's Bart.
Yeah, it's on my channel and it's a series. And actually, I mean, there's been people have asked why there isn't a Crappie Chronicles channel. The reason behind that is it was supposed to originally just be like a 1 or 2 or 3 year mini series. And it turned into like a whole brand and stuff. And at this point, it makes no sense to go make a Crappie Chronicles YouTube channel. And
we agree.
Like, I'm going to make other series on my YouTube channel coming up now, so it'll make more sense then.
Right.
But yeah, right now it's just it's. I have another series on my YouTube, but for the most part, that's all that's there. But yeah, if you search Bart, if you Google Crappie Chronicles, it'll pop up right away.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's what we did with Between Hooksets. Instead of having a Facebook page and a YouTube page, it's Chase and Walter and the fishing crew. And if you want to find it, you search Between Hooksets and boom, there it is. So, fabulous. Hey, it's great to have you on. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think I got a couple of episodes for In Through the Outdoors out of this too. So I'm excited to not have to bother you while you're editing video and doing all that stuff. So I'll leave you to your editing so we can get that Crappie Chronicles stuff up on the YouTube. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
Adam, thank you very much. Take care.